CBS News analyst, national security contributor. A.T. Smith, thank you so much for joining us. Just based on what we're talking about right now, what is going through your mind? What are your thoughts on this investigation?
Well, I think, as I've said before, a lot of times an incident like what occurred in Pennsylvania will initiate a copycat, or it will put an act in someone's mind that, they believe they could carry out. And this has a lot of those similarities. Obviously, it looks like an AR-15 style rifle. Looks like a backpack was used. As we know, the assailant in Butler was able to collapse the weapon down enough to get it into a backpack. So it does look like there's a lot of similarities here. And again, an incident, as I said, will always bring some copycats out, or people that, are wannabes and want to either try to finish what the other shooter was not able to do, or, for their own reasons want to do that. The good news here is obviously he was detected early enough, and law enforcement there from not just the Palm Beach area, but the surrounding counties obviously worked hand in glove together, and they were able, just based on, from what I've heard, the citizen's account of the car description or tag number, they were able to react quickly. And, thank goodness the guy's been arrested, and it sounds like he is in custody.
What are your thoughts on that particular detail from the Palm Beach County Sheriff that an agent saw the barrel of a gun sticking out of the fence and engaged the individual? I mean, just the eagle-eye nature of the job, but, the advance team obviously looking for anything out of the ordinary, but a spectacular spotting that likely averted disaster.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess we will, I know we will hear more about that as this unfolds, but pretty much to the sheriff's description, in a public venue or semi-public such as this, where you have other folks there playing, golf, they create sort of a bubble, and they secure a 2, 3, sometimes a little bit more whole area as the former president would move along. Keeping in mind, in an open area like this, we're also probably going to have the counter snipers that are there. And if not the counter snipers, that agent that was able to identify the gun from that distance probably was using some long-range binoculars and things, of that nature, the optics of it, so that they were able to look well ahead of either where they were or certainly that bubble that was moving along with the former president as he played. So I would imagine that, that will eventually come out, that it would not surprise me that they weren't using long-range binoculars and things like that, and that's ultimately what allowed them to see this guy this far out.
A football field away, is that relatively close, in your opinion, A.T. Smith, for a suspect with a weapon to be able to reach in the former president's vicinity?
It is. And, again, as has now been shown at Butler, there was a breakdown in the security there. And, as I've said many times before, within the Secret Service, the counter snipers are responsible for 1,000 yards. You always have to weigh that against the locale that you're in. This was not obviously a public event or a rally. This was simply former president playing golf in the afternoon. So there is only so much they can do in terms of securing distance. And it seems to me that they were doing that as the Secret Service has done in the past when protectees want to play golf or they're out like that. Usually those events are off-the-record movements. No one, is aware of them generally. But again, it's hard to keep things like movements of a former president and what we've seen in the last few weeks a secret. But at the same time, the service designs those advances trying to allow not only him to operate in a safe environment, but at the same time, if this course is open to the public or the members, allowing them, to be a part of what they obviously are doing and have purchased. So there's always a little bit of a trade-off there. And in this scenario, the difference is this was not a public rally. It was, my guess is that it was an off-the-record movement and certainly not anything that was publicized ahead of time. Having said that, it is troublesome that apparently this individual was able to figure out where they were. And again, the investigation now that the FBI will have to conduct.
On September 15th, 2024, an attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump occurred at his West Palm Beach golf course. The suspect, identified as 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh, was apprehended by law enforcement. Trump was unharmed during the incident, which involved gunshots fired in his vicinity. The FBI is leading the investigation, treating the case as a potential assassination attempt. The suspect allegedly pointed a high-powered rifle through the golf course's fence, prompting a Secret Service agent to engage him. The suspect fled in an SUV but was later captured in a nearby county. Routh, reportedly a former fighter in Ukraine and a supporter of the war, left behind 2 backpacks and a GoPro camera at the scene. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the FBI are investigating, with possible state and federal charges pending. Trump's campaign confirmed his safety, and he continued his schedule as planned. The incident follows a previous assassination attempt on Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, 2 months prior.